Hi everybody, this video is sponsored by a contribution from Anonymous. And this is a repeat, this is a follow-up with audio. And I listened to the first 15 seconds and boy, I think we're all in for a treat on this one. And if you remember from that video, this was the person, his husband, I believe, is a psychologist, and he had this assistant, and he was just being cuckolded all over. And he did everything he could to take away her freedom, make her feel like shit, triangulated with this third woman. So she sent me this video, and here we go.
No, and I'm very
He's crying.
I'm very sorry that you're going through this pain that you're going through right now. And listen, in 6 years, I've never heard you express that type of pain.
That's right. He's Pakistani, and he has an accent, so he might be a little hard to understand.
Pain to me, yet on multiple occasions you've seen me express that type of pain and anxiety and anguish. And I guess I was hoping and praying, if anything in all of this that would happen, is that you could feel what I felt and what other people feel when you withdraw your love. I really, listen to me, and I want you to take this as
Why would you want love from this whining pussy?
how I mean it. I don't mean it in a bad way. You really need to get some therapy.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. I know what my demons are.
Okay, what are they?
Okay, I ask for forgiveness.
I forgive you.
Is this a Jerky's Boys bit? This guy sounds like Kamal from the Jerky Boys. Please, sir, please. I'm gonna start just calling him Jerky Boy. All right, here we go.
I ask for your forgiveness because I got into this relationship with a lot of baggage.
I know.
And my baggage was not another person, not distrust of you or anything like that. It was fears.
I know.
My fears were the most because I so desperately needed a relationship, but also I was very fearful
I understand that. That's why I waited 6 years.
of being a homeless person.
Right, I understand that.
I strung you along. I asked God's forgiveness and asked your pardon. I did not give my total full and everything. And not that these things matter to me. I'm gonna die. These are all material things.
Oh,
But the fear
what a victim.
of giving control to you
And what?
of my life.
This is Jerky Boys. I was scared. I have fear. I know I have demons. I was scared. They're all the same. His fear, he was scared. Oh, God, get a new act.
Of my health.
Yeah,
And every time you talk about power of attorney,
yeah.
it's
a fear of giving up control.
It was absolutely a fear. But in that fear, to protect my fears, I told you away. I told you away from a little baby girl who was calling you daddy. In that fear, I did a lot of things. But in those fears, first and foremost, I cannot give you the right of marriage to me. I cannot give you the honor of this cup. I, I, I was afraid.
I was scared. I don't want to be scared no more.
What little I had would be washed away.
I understand. And I understand all those fears.
And those fears, what led to my failures. I broke my own family because they were asking questions. Every single one I pushed away. Lord, I ask, I'm not here to put any blame. I'm only here. I just wanted to put a closure to it and say, I am so sorry. I lied. I did not give my fullest. And
Listen, you had legitimate fears. I understand that. You had legitimate fears, but they controlled your life. That's the problem. I gave you options over all these years to get a prenup where you would be protected, but I would have security.
I would not need a prenup. I just needed to find the soul in this.
He's lying. This is bullshit. It wasn't about that. It was about that other woman who he really wanted. The one in his office. The secretary. This is all an act, and you're falling for it. I can hear your crying. That's not the reason why he wouldn't marry you. It was the other girl. This was the secretary who he was holding out for. The one who was really yanking his fucking chain. This is all bullshit. This is all still this is all an act. And you're upset and you're falling for it and you're feeding into his victimization here at this point. Prenups, fear of losing everything, bullshit. He would have given that chick anything she wanted if she would have given the go-ahead. This is nonsense.
You came, you brought a soul. Today the soul is dead. And so, it is for my own doing. Anytime you talk about my goodness, anytime you talk about my happiness.
See, it's easier for him to do this, to do the jerky boy Kamal cry, okay, than admit the truth. This is a better option for him than admitting the real reason, which was the other woman he was triangulating you with, the one who could pull him everywhere she wanted.
I think what upset me and hurt me more than anything was I felt, just let me tell you how it made me feel whenever I would bring up the subject of, for instance, your swelling in your mouth and missing. What hurt me is it seemed like you were taking the advice of your friends and whatever they did for you, you were just all about that. But I was trying to honestly help you and trying to tease away and figure out, like for instance, what masalas I put on your food and, that's what a wife.
Understand something. This entire conversation he's having with you is a manipulation. It's a manipulation for sympathy for him. And it seems like you're giving into it because you didn't realize at the time what was really going on. The reason he wouldn't marry you wasn't any of this. It was because of that secretary. I'm telling you.
It does. A wife worries about their family. It's just part of your DNA. It's like you wanted to fix things outside or.
I do know that. Terry, I do know that. It was not just that.
And then you insult my diagnosis skills. You know, diagnose your own patients. Don't practice on me. How do you think that made me feel?
If a man threw a temper tantrum, you really threw it on those who were nearest him.
Right.
I did not throw temper tantrums to others. I am so very sorry. I know who I am,
Mm-hmm. And you're not. I'm not trying to demonize you.
and where I stand.
I'm not trying to demonize you. I really am not.
My fears are my fears. My failures are mine. They are not yours. My mother last night told me.
He's telling you what you want to hear here. This is exactly what he's doing. Be very afraid when the narcissist does admit to something bad, because that means it's a better option than what they're trying, than what the truth is. Because then the truth is worse. If you ever get to the point where you have a narcissist doing this, okay, and this isn't, we know this isn't genuine repenting based on the relationship of triangulation with the secretary. This is a manipulation to cover the truth, which is the reason why he wouldn't marry you, and he was you because you were convenient and you put up with it, and you were a secondary option in case the secretary. I hope you understand that. This is pathetic, and this guy is doing nothing but putting on a jerky boys routine.
You do not know what a wife is. She told me that she had been observing me. I am so sorry.
What did she say? What did she say?
She is devastated. I have killed my mother.
Oh, God. How would your mother have felt about the secretary?
Well, can I please say something? And I want to shed some light here and maybe come to some kind of solution. I think what initially started everything was you're taking away my basic rights as a human being, and we went over all that. You know, I'm not the type of person to tell a person what they could do, what they can't do, but it seems like you're so wanting to control because you're afraid of losing control. You wouldn't let me even wear a cross necklace. You wouldn't let me go to church. You know, Muslims can marry Christians, and you're not supposed to keep whoever you marry from going to church or practicing their faith. I think you were afraid that every Sunday I'd be hitting the road and going to church. I think it wasn't so much that, because I didn't go to church that often, even when I was by myself. But if I had the urge or wanted to go, I would go. It's the fact that you said I couldn't do these things. You took away my basic rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And I still don't understand that one. And so can we just address that issue?
Terry, I'm not into religion. I wanted you to understand God the way I understood it. I tried to tell you about rational.
He's not into religion, but he wanted you to understand God the way he did. Then what was the religious ceremony about? That could just be explained.
Rationality. I don't find rationality in Christian church or Muslim churches or any other churches.
Right.
Then what was the ceremony about?
Belie every.
But that's you. See, I think you found me as an extension of yourself. I had no individuality.
I thought the ceremony was to make his mother happy. Now he's saying it's because he wanted you to understand God, but he's not that religious. So then what was the ceremony about other than control? Other than control. That's why when you're going toe to toe in these emotional situations, it's hard to rationalize this shit. It's hard to think of this shit on the fly. of what's really going on. Because that is a complete contradiction of why he wanted you. It was supposed to make his mother happy. Now it's because he wanted you to understand God the way he did. And I've always said you don't need religion to have God, to understand God or have a relationship with God. So then what was the fucking Islamic religious ceremony about then? Other than control. He's good at what he's doing. I see right through it. But when you dissect what they have said, and you go back and you got to stop and you got to look at everything they say and then go back and fact check it, because it's the littlest nugget that they throw in there, those lies, you don't even see them.
I did want that. And over time, I think that particular aspect,
We were able to come to some compromise.
We were able to come to a common philosophy of life.
Right, but you understand though something? It wasn't about that. We could have come to that understanding anyway. But you gave me no other choice but to come to that understanding. You took away my basic freedoms.
But those basic freedoms that aspect came much after. Yeah, that came much after November 2010. November 2010 was when you went to get your mother.
Mm-hmm.
After dropping.
Who cares when it was?
You came back and you picked up the phone.
What was it? So after 2010, you're okay?
Church.
Who cares?
Like after 1 year.
I've been missing my church.
This had started unraveling. And then.
And why do you see it as unraveling, I guess my question is?
Because you had.
Why would you see me wanting to go to church as unraveling?
In May you had left. In May you had left here just 6 months before that.
She stumped him on that question. That's why there's so much silence.
Just made everything, whatever footing I had none after that.
Oh my God.
It was like.
What did he spend the day in a greeting card aisle before this conversation?
What kind of papers could you get?
Somebody would sue me.
Sue you for what?
For.
What in the world would I sue you for?
You, Terry, like I said, you have been very magnanimous.
Magnanimous?
Like I said, the demons are mine. The failures are mine.
It makes he said nothing. He said nothing there. He just said the word magnanimous, and I'm gonna sue you.
I took a person. I took a woman.
I, pity, 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 pity.
Many a times. Many a times.
But I guess.
But remember one thing. But remember one thing. Those mistakes help by a head, not by a heart.
There were mistakes of my head, not my heart. Dude, he's pulling out every cliche line. And this is a psychiatrist? This is like some teenage bullshit out of his mouth.
Any mistakes? Because
Do you know?
family was not easy for losing a family. I lost everything.
He's quite the victim.
Kept you at bay and let you into God forgive me.
God.
You have life to
I thought he's not religious, though.
He's gonna afford you a million times.
He's not religious. He doesn't believe in all that shit. But he keeps talking about God forgive me. If he has this special relationship with God, but he still has to cry out, forgive me, like a religious thing. This is all a routine she was putting on. This was all a routine.
God could just atone me for my mistakes. Would know where to begin.
Well, maybe you can take one day at a time.
You notice he doesn't admit to anything. I still don't really know what his mistakes were, because all he talks about his demons, but he doesn't actually ever acknowledge anything he did, other than the religious thing, which he made an argument that made no sense, based on him saying he only made her do this religious thing because it wasn't an official marriage to make his mother happy, so the mother would be happy. But then he says now it's because he wanted her to have a relationship with God the way he does. But he doesn't believe in any of these religions. But he made her go through an official religious ceremony. So where do you see the entire conflict here of why this is a total performance?
Step at a time.
I'm too weak.
Too weak. I'm too weak. I'm not responsible.
I can't tell you what to do or how to be.
I'm not asking.
No, what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. I'm not closing the door to you completely.
Why?
I love you. I always have loved you. That's why I tolerated all these years, and waited and waited and waited.
He didn't love you.
You love my family.
I invested so much in the last 6 years into this relationship.
Nobody has ever seen me cry. Never in my life. Anybody.
Because this option is better than the truth. It's better than the truth. He just doesn't want to be alone. He wants to be taken care of. This is a manipulation. The reason he didn't marry you was because he was waiting on the other girl. I think her name was Heidi.
You see me.
And I believe that's where it cuts off. Yeah, that's the end. All right. This was a total performance. This was the Jerky Boys, and he was tugging at her, and she kind of fell for it. And the truth of the matter is here that he wouldn't marry you and all this is that all that shit with the demons and him admitting to what he wanted to admit to there. he wasn't admitting the shit. That wasn't the truth, and he doesn't believe that, or he doesn't really want to admit to it. But the only reason he said that was to avoid the actual truth. And the actual truth is, and as difficult as it is for you to accept, but I got to be honest here, is that he was using you. You were there in case of emergency, break glass in case of an emergency. You were staying there. He was able to manipulate you in hopes that this other woman, that secretary, because based on the way she was able to jerk him around in front of his whole family and your friends, and that entire performance and everything you said about her and all that, she was yanking him around, and he would have done whatever she wanted. It was her decision. It's because she really didn't want him is what caused you to be in this relationship, caused him to keep you around like this. He was using you. He was always using you, and I know that's difficult to understand, to hear, but I think you understand that already on some level. But this is a total manipulation. This was a total performance. And I know you're away from him now. Stay away from him, because the guy's completely full of shit. He's completely full of shit. And the tears, and nobody ever saw me cry before. That was an ace in his pocket, that crying routine. That's just an ace in his pocket. Break glass in case of an emergency and start crying to protect the real truth. I don't know how much, if you realized it was that far along with him and that woman, but that's what was going on in his mind. I promise you that. I hope that helps, or at least gives you some clarity. Thank you again for the video, and thank you for supporting the channel and contributing. Thank you, everybody watching. Please leave any advice or comments in the comment section below. And if you have some audio, or you want your story read on the channel, or have a topic that you want me to discuss, or if you just want to see the channel grow and you'd like to make a contribution, you know what to do. The PayPal link's in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ali Matthews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again soon.